Welcome back to MTG Budget Finance, or whatever this channel's called. And today we're going to talk about the new next big boom that's coming in Pauper. In case you've been living under a rock, or perhaps paying attention to bigger, more exciting formats like Commander, Modern, and Standard, you may have overlooked or not heard the fact that there's going to be a big time Pauper event coming to Los Angeles, California. So here's the official announcement. This is Magic Fest Los Angeles. This is going to be later on this spring. And this is Channel Fireball events. This is actually kind of obscure and hard to find information. You know what's sad is it's actually easier to find this information on Reddit than it is to find this on the official Magic the Gathering announcements page. How sad is that? Anyway, so basically what's going to happen is we have these new Pro Tour events that are no longer called the Pro Tour. Now they're being called Mythic Championship events, which are basically still just Pro Tour events. And instead of having Pro Tour qualifiers, now we have Mythic Championship qualifiers, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so as you know, you can't run Pauper events at competitive level, as a competitive REL level format. So that means that they're just like casual friendly events, and this means you can't really get the Planeswalker points and so on and so forth. And there have been a lot of people in the Pauper world, including myself, who have been saying if Pauper could just be on equal footing with all the other Magic formats out there as something that could be sanctioned as a quote-unquote real format, then a lot more local game shops would start running Pauper events. It could be more easily integrated, perhaps someday even as a Grand Prix event, and so on and so forth. It'd be more likely that Star City Games would start running Pauper Opens on occasion. But the first step is it just needed that competitive REL sanctioning. Well, what's kind of wild is this upcoming Mythic Championship qualifier is going to be a Pauper event, and the tournament's going to be sanctioned as competitive REL. Now, what's weird about this is that there hasn't been an actual announcement that the Pauper format as a whole is officially going to, thus forward be competitive REL. So this one event is going to let Pauper be a real format for one event. This could mean one of two possible things. Either A, this is the big turning point. This is a massive announcement that's being underplayed. There have been people talking about it, but if this is the moment when Pauper becomes basically just as real of a format as Modern and Standard and everything else, this is absolutely enormous, a game changer. Or it could mean that Wizards is basically just jerking us around, and they're only going to give us this sweet moment for literally one event before they jerk it away and just leave us to cry and drink our tears of sadness. The problem is Wizards hasn't really been clear which it is. Maybe they don't even know, or maybe they're just waiting to pop us with, hit us with even more announcements and bring more hype and stuff once we get a little bit closer. I believe this Los Angeles event is going to be later on in the spring, sometime in the March-April time frame, something like that. You can go to Channel Fireball events page and take a look if you're really interested, if you want to attend or anything like that. Should be quite interesting. So anyway, basically the fact that we're going to have a Pro Tour qualifier that's going to be Pauper is the thing that a lot of people have been focusing on. But that's not the biggest part of the equation here. Again, the biggest part of the equation is that this event is not going to be just some filthy casual sanctioned event that is otherwise going to qualify people for the Pro Tour. It's actually going to be sanctioned at competitive REL. And if they do it once, there's really no reason why they couldn't do it again or let other local game shops do it. Now, if you go to more information, what's interesting here is they go ahead and describe that they're following the Magic Online definition of cards. And so they give you this whole, here's the banned list. And they actually have this drop-down thing where you can search for all legal cards. So, for example, if you want to look up something like Tangle, which has never actually been printed at common in paper, but it is common online, boom, you can find it here. So you've got this nice little neat little link to this Pauper information page where you can just manually look up to see if a card's legal or not, because that's basically a simpler option I think they decided to give people than to actually try to break it down into comprehensive lists. So that's probably pretty smart on Channel Fireball's part, since the way these things have been worked out is not that clear. I've actually made a video where getting a consolidated legality list for Pauper and paper would not be that hard. A lot of people act like this would be exceedingly difficult. Frankly, it's not. All you have to do is update the ban list to add on cards that are common in paper that are not common online. And you can actually ignore cards that are just so bad that they're not going to see play, or if they did, they would just be so niche that they wouldn't even do anything. So you basically just end up adding, a few more cards to the ban list, but you still end up having a fairly small ban list compared to Legacy and Modern. And then you have a separate list of cards, which is also not really that long, less than 30 cards, which has all of the cards added in as legal that are otherwise at uncommon that are relevant. And so with a list of basically less than 50 cards, which isn't that bad compared to Legacy and Modern, you can understand the entirety of the format. And it would be slightly different than online, but not in any way that's relevant. In other words, you could come up with a cohesive way to merge and simplify paper Pauper to make it basically a functional equivalent to Magic Online by having an outside list of banned cards and cards that are otherwise legal that have been printed at uncommon only, and between that supplemental list of 50 cards you could make it clear what the format is. This would be overlooking certain cards and allowing there to be certain differences that would exist between online and paper, but none that would actually matter. There would be a whole lot of cards that would be legal in paper that wouldn't be legal online, but they're all absolutely terrible. So that's pretty much it. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and let you know here at the end of this video. I know I haven't been producing a lot of content as of late. I've been fairly busy. I've got a lot going on in real life, and I just do this as a hobby, and I can only afford to spend so much time with this because between my job and the other stuff that I do. But I thought this was a big time thing for Pauper. I wanted to announce it, also to let everybody know at some point I will be going back deep into Pauper again, because if this is the big turning point I've been waiting for, this may break myself and a lot of people out of their malaise and get us all, excited about Pauper again. The new is starting to wear off, at least for me, for MTG Arena. It's a cool platform and all, but I just can't get into playing a whole lot when I'm not actually getting value back for my time, being the filthy grinder that I am. So yeah, hopefully this will be a new kind of major turning point, and if that is in fact the case, could be a real game changer for the format. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well out there, grinding, stacking up tickets, and winning a bunch of wild cards and free packs on Arena and all that other good stuff, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.